this video will be some quick Airforce tips that you can learn that will improve your Airforce play massively. I saw a lot of people asking me about this in the Discord, so I thought I just might make a video about it. Alright, so for tip number 1, it's going to be how to destroy more than one unit at the same time and attack multiple units with your planes or helicopters or any air unit. So for example here we see that Berlin has both infantry units and Air Force units. Now if I use the attack button, which is what most people do, you can only attack one of these units, but you can actually attack both at the same time. And to do this, all you gotta do is just use the patrol option. Now this is not gonna work with air superiority fighters or stealth air superiority fighters, but it will work for strike fighters, elite strike fighters, and basically all kind of unit that is meant to deal damage to the ground. By using this Air Force, I'm gonna be able to deal my damage to every single unit. So for example, say my damage is 29, I'm going to deal 29 to the infantry, to the plane, and basically everything that is in that radius. So that's why sometimes you might have seen that an experienced player destroy like 50 of your units in one single time. I'm going to show you how to do this technique. So all you got to do is just select your plane stack, and as you can see here, there's a lot of German soldiers in South Germany. So I'm just going to grab my plane stack and I just put patrol where all the units are. As you can see, the patrol circle is covering most of the units there. So that means that I'm going to hit every single unit that is inside that range. So the National Guard, the German officer, and all those units. So instead of just attacking one by one, I can just use my patrol option and take them out all in just one hit. If we go to notifications, we can see how many units we hit. But as you can already see visually, we already took most of those units out. And also we can actually verify how many units we actually took out by just going to a newspaper. If we search up Germany, we can see all the units that we have destroyed. So if you're trying to gather intelligence on the nation you're going against, also on other wars, you can see what units people lost and everything there. Alright, tip number 2 is quite basic, but I still see a lot of people that don't do it. So it's just basically make sure to stack your units. You don't want to have more than 5 units in a stack, but you want to still stack them. Because when you stack your units, you deal more damage and you take less incoming damage. So make sure to always do that. And don't go above 5, always all these bars will be absolutely nerfed. I've seen people coming at me with 20 helicopters and it ends up dealing 1 damage because it's in a stack of 20. Secondly, I suggest with this tip that you split your units by 90% of the time by the type of unit they are. For example, in this stack I've got strike fighters and the strike fighter officer, right? And then for my air superiority fighters, I've got them in a separate stack, but I still got them stacked, but I'm separating them because that way I can use this stack against infantry, and if the opponent uses Air Force against me, I'll use my stack of fighter wings. So that is tip number 2, and quite a simple one, but make sure you do it. I see a lot of people missing out on it. Tip number 3 is to block your enemy's Air Force completely. So what you can do to do this is simply send your air superiority fighters to patrol the capital or wherever they have their planes. So let's say they had an airport in Prague and that's where they station the planes, and just put your planes to patrol above it. What this basically does is that when his planes leave the airport or arrive in the airport, your planes will automatically engage. Because basically, since you're using the patrol technique, it basically means that every time it patrols, it's automatically going to engage those units. So that's going to make it very hard for him to use his units, and if he has a bit of intelligence, he's going to station his units and he won't be able to use his air units anymore unless he wants them to be destroyed. There's just two things you need to be aware of this. If he has more air superiority fighters than you, then this may not be a good idea, as he'll probably destroy yours. And secondly, make sure there's no SAMs or mobile anti-air, because that could destroy you as well. I'll show you the tip into action. So as you can see, my 3 fighters are now approaching Berlin. Germany was attacking me with some helicopters. So my air superiority fighters completely counter our helis, as helicopters don't deal any damage to Air Force. And on the other hand, I deal the max damage to our helicopters. Okay, we can see that he has some planes there. Okay, that basically means he can't use them unless he's got more planes than me, but I already got some intelligence that he doesn't. It basically just restricts his planes from going against my planes. So, and also when his helicopters come back, my planes will automatically attack them. So that will be a great loss for his helicopters, as I'll already knocked down 1 helicopter. So yeah, make sure to use this tip, and yeah, just make sure there's no near mobile SAM launches or anti-air or stuff like frigates or cruisers, as they can easily take your planes down. Now for tip number 3, which is the last tip in this video, is simply to use your planes to spy on on the enemy. So basically, if I patrol here, right, I can see he has units in Berlin and he's got an infantry unit. While I do not know the exact composition of it, I can still see what units he has. So for example, I put my planes to scout over here in West Germany. That way I can check that the cities were clear and everything, and that way I can, send my troops without worrying about them having to engage. So you can just use your Air Force units, and also when you start the game, you normally get one air superiority fighter for free. So you can, just patrol that and over other people's lands and just check if they have any units. Just keep in mind this one detects stealth units, so late in game you want to detect things such as special forces. It's quite rare to see people build those. But for example here, if I want to scout here, then I would send my planes over here to see if he has any units. And then I know what provinces to send my units at and what province to send my strike fighters at. So yeah, that's just an easy tip to keep in mind. You can use any type of Air Force unit to do this. I suggest air superiority fighters. If you want to know the exact composition, then UAPs are amazing as well, as they can tell you what units there is exactly. And those are all 3 tips for this video. If you guys enjoy these tips, then feel free to subscribe and tell me what video you'd like to see next.